so loads of settings are in the camera to start off with. There are 2 which should stay the same no matter what you kind of do, and 1 you can kind of change depending on your light source. So, first thing that you have to keep the same is your shutter speed, okay? And that's because we're working with flash. It's not going to be a continuous light, like light bulbs. It's literally going to be like flash, as the name suggests. Okay, so I suggest you have it at 1/120th or 1/120th of a second, or 1/25th, okay, shutter speed on here. Okay, another thing that you should have the same is the ISO. It should be about 100, because then you've got a lovely crisp image, no noise in it whatsoever, because you don't need to make the camera more sensitive to light, because you can make these a lot brighter. Okay. The thing that you can change, however, is the aperture. All right. Remember the little hole inside the lens. Okay. This is wholly dependent on the kind of look that you're going for. So if you want a really bright look, you might want to have a larger hole, or if you want a quite sort of moody, quite crisp look, you'll want to go for a higher number. Okay, so we'll start off with it at being f8. That's usually the way I start off with, and then when we get to shooting, we can kind of adjust it accordingly. I have got 2 different types of flash guns. They both work in exactly the same way. Okay, it's just different makes. All right, then you can control the power of them, and it's presented as a fraction. So 1/1 is full power, 1/2 is half power, and it goes on. I think this one goes all the way down to 1/100th power. So that's really, really kind of weak light. For doing portraits, I would never suggest you guys using 1/1 or 1/2, simply because 1, it's going to drain your battery so quickly, and 2, you will potentially blind your model because it's quite bright. Okay, I would never suggest. So you turn it on, you wait for it to start up, got a little ready light, so that tells you that it's ready, and then this is 1/8 at the moment, so that's quite a nice kind of level of light. You can check that it's working by pressing the little flash button. And there you go. See, that's 1/8 and that's bright. So imagine what full power would be, okay? This works in exactly the same way. So you just have to hold it onto a little bit longer. You can adjust the power of them in a similar way of literally just going up and down, and it will change it on the little LED screen. Same with that. You can just change it. And those are the things that you mainly need to know. First things first, in order to get the camera to take a photo when it takes a photo to tell these guys to go off, okay, we have got triggers. Okay, these are wireless triggers, you can go quite far with them. This one goes on top of your camera, so in the hot shoe. So literally, if you just make sure it's all done, it literally just slides on. You can tighten it up, and then it's got an on button there which you just hold, and then all of the lights should come on. There you go. So you can have different channels, which is why it's got the A, B and C, so you could have loads of different flash guns. If you were working in an environment where loads of photographers were working, you could all one person could set their flash guns onto an A channel, one could be on a B, so you're not setting each other's off. That's what that is for. So it doesn't matter for now, so you can just do it for there. And this goes on your flash gun. I usually suggest to have it, if you're using mine, to use it on this one, which I'll tell you why in a sec. Literally slides on, then on the flash gun there's a little lock, okay, and then again you just press it onto on, and it should be flashing, okay? Set it off, okay? And that's just like a tester to make sure that it's all connected. Now, you'll notice that I haven't got the triggers for these, and these are because these have a slave option, and that means that if they see any sort of flash, so it could be from like a phone or something, it will set them off. So the way that you just double check that it's on there is you go to, keep going through mode. No, not go through mode. Why is that not working either? There you go. Sorry, one next to mode, okay? So it's got like the little Wi-Fi signal on it, and wait until it gets onto S1. So in theory, if I have someone come be, just hold it. Don't have to be in the video, literally just hold it. Don't point it at my face because that will hurt, okay? And then, so we go down here. Hey. That one go? Yeah, that's fine. Prove that it works. We'll worry about it going when we've got it all set up. Okay. Okay. So we've got that sorted. Now we're going to go on to modifiers. So these are the things that obviously modify the light. You want to put your flash guns onto one of these, similar like the tripods, and then depending on what modifier you're going to use, you will have a bracket that either looks like this or like this, okay? So, differences being that this one is used for things like the snoot and the beauty dish. This one is actually just for an umbrella because it's a lot smaller. Alright? Then, snoot, like I mentioned, this is a spotlight, basically. So if you want to have like a spotlight on your person, so you can just literally be their face, like you would see in like the theatre and stuff, this is beauty that you want to use, okay? And then secondly, beauty dish, okay? It's what usually people use for portraits because it makes a nice even light on the skin, makes you like, as the name suggests, look beautiful, okay? It's got a thing called a honeycomb on it. If you just pop that off, you can see that the shape of it is a honeycomb. You can use it without it. We won't do today because basically it just makes it like really, really bright, whereas this just directs the light straight at the person that you're pointing, like you're kind of pointing at. You just like that. And then lastly, we have an umbrella. This is a softbox umbrella, so it's basically a really portable version of the softbox over there. And so you make sure that the flash gun is pointing into it, and so you've got a nice diffuse light, but it spreads quite well. It's not like really direct. We get ready tighten that one up and it will rest on there. So that's your setup. Okay, and then you're going to twist it in a way that will let you, there you go, away from you. Away. Like that. Grab this one, okay. You're going to line up The little nubbins are there. Okay, you've got one right in front of you so you can kind of see. And then you're going to twist it towards you and then tighten it up. Then when you let go, it should stay. Okay?
What is that for? I think I'll say jig.
There you go. Okay, so this is the beauty dish. It produces a nice even light. The lighting setup that we're going to do now is called Rembrandt, and basically that means that depending on where this is positioned, it should create like a nice little pool of light on your cheek, a little triangle. Okay? So we need some. Everyone's going to the corner. See the little like bit of light, a little triangle next to her nose? Yeah, that's what we're looking for, okay? Okay, so the next one is called butterfly lighting, okay? And that's because it makes, the way that the light is, it's quite high, it makes like a little butterfly underneath your nose. That's why it's called, okay? Still need the beauty dish, you can still use that. So, can we have hold it? Second light behind, pointing at the back of the head. Okay? So, our geography students, you're going to set up snoot onto that. So, you can see the little butterfly underneath her nose. That's the butterfly that we're talking about. Okay? Okay, so you can see really lightly where the hairs are kind of being picked out. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the umbrella instead of the beauty dish, because the beauty dish can produce some quite harsh shadows, and that one might make it nice and soft. We're going to point this one at the back of the wall so that the wall is nice and bright, and then we've got a reflector so we can get rid of any pesky shadows that might hit. Alright, so again. Okay, so firstly what we're going to do is we're going to change this to the umbrella. Okay, and the way that we're going to do that is you need to take this flash gun and this completely off. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it off just to save battery. Remind me to turn it off. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about taking the beauty dish off if you want to take the beauty dish off, because that's the last time you're going to use it. You're more than welcome to. Okay, so I'll leave you to that. Can you see that? to take this as a wall. We're going to take the snoot off because the snoot's a bit too directed and we want kind of the whole wall to be illuminated. We're going to have this one about here. You don't want it right in front because then you won't get any shadows at all. And I know the point of high key lighting is to kind of have as little shadows as possible. But if you have that light straight in front, it'll look quite flat. Whereas if you have it to slightly to one side, it will be a bit more flattering, basically. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Background is nice and white, okay, that's what we want, but we've got some shadows on the side of the face which we don't want, okay? Now, what do you think we could use to make sure that this side is nice and lit without using another flash cone? What thing could you use to bounce light? The reflector. Yes. Okay, if this had, I think if we got a bigger reflector from the edit suite, this would work a lot better, but just the way it is at the moment, it's not big enough to get all the light to bounce onto your face, okay? So if we had a bigger reflector, that would work. Right.